you end up seeing that person not be able to feed himself. If you get money, you think you're powerful or you think you are untouchable. You're stupid.
Welcome everyone to the third episode of Brave Beginnings, Growing Confidence Through Conversations. Today we have Oumar.
Hiya.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. My pleasure.
Amazing. And Omar's going to share with us a little bit of his story, how he made it all the way to professional football in the Premier League, and what he plans on doing next. I think we'd all be excited to know a little bit more about that. But yeah, let's start from the very beginning. So tell us a little bit about your history growing up from Senegal and yeah, how you came into football.
Well, it's a very long and difficult one because as a young boy, I grew up in a family where we wasn't very comfortable financially. So to be able to think about being a professional football player with my parents, it wasn't something they could just accept in the way, and it wasn't possible for us because if you can't afford to make sure next month if you're not sure your kids are gonna eat properly, how can you think about buy them football boots? So, and I grew up in a very big family. I've got 7 siblings, all same dad, same mom, 4 big brothers, 2 big sisters, and a young brother. So being the second youngest is not easy because, there is a lot of things, I can say you matter, but you don't matter. You matter when it's protecting you or stuff like that, but you don't matter when it's coming to certain decisions. And you have a lot of people who have their sayings in your decisions. And my big brothers and sisters and my parents, they wasn't allow me to do a lot of things, especially playing football. So it was not easy. It was not easy to be able to play in the highest level because at the beginning my parents say, no, you're not gonna play football. So, and yeah, I struggled until the moment I graduated and I was supposed to go to uni. I decided, nah, enough is enough. And at that time I was already 18. That's where they allowed me definitely to go and play football. And in football industry, that is a bit late because at 18, if you're starting, that means people start when they're 13, 10, and they've been in the academy and practicing and all of that. But my parents didn't want me to do that. So I was a bit late, so I have to catch up with a lot of things to be able to be where I wanted to be. So it took time. It took me 5 years struggling back home until I'm 22, 23. And the first time I left Senegal to be able to arrive in Europe and expect to have a career.
And what did that look like from an early age? So how did you know that you wanted to be a footballer?
I don't know. I've never think about doing anything else. I think this is gonna sound crazy, but when I was young, I said, if I'm not being a footballer, I'll be a soldier, which is crazy because I said, I'm not gonna be them people who's just with all the respect, it's not me just going to office or going to work where you know what you're gonna do next. There's no excitement. To me, there's excitement. So what I wanted is football. This is something I said I've always wanted it. As soon as I don't even know, but maybe because I was good at young age, people keep telling me. So I said, you know what, this is good. But if it wasn't football, I think I was gonna be in the army. But luckily, like I say, at young age, it's hard when you see players you are better or players who are same level than you. Their parents push them to go. And I understood my parents now. I'm sitting down, and it was hard for them to think football can be something their kids will be successful. And me, and I have another old brother who is 2 years older than me, who is also a professional football player. But the thing is, before he stopped going to school when he was I think 16, and stopped trying to play football, and he took time for him before he's gonna be having a contract. He took a lot of times. So my parents was always giving me an example. You're not gonna stop school because look at your brother. He stopped. Look at him. He's struggling with football. So he make my life harder to push. But the first time he got his contract in Europe, my parents start saying, maybe it's possible. Maybe they can do it. And in where we grow up in our neighborhood, the neighbors used to always say to my parents, you're the one who is not playing football is better than the one you let play football. My older brother, who is fully just, going to football, they were telling him, your younger son is better than the older one, and you're keeping him in school. But they couldn't see it, because to them that one was already lost. They're not gonna let you go do that. So once he has his first contract in France, they just said, okay, you know what? Okay, we're gonna let you try.
It was that moment where they saw that it was possible, that they were able to kind of release the reins to you. But you said that you were still doing it behind their back.
Yeah, I always try to do what I wanted to do in certain ways, because I have to follow what they wanted me to do, which is going to school and study. I was doing that, but every time I heard there's a tournament there, I just try to go there and play without them knowing. Sometimes they find out and tell my brothers, and they're gonna beat me up. Sometimes they don't, which is like good. And after my old brother get a contract in France, things start opening. They say, you know what, let's let you try. And that point, I just went from not playing in anything to just jump in and say, I'm gonna go to play for first team. And I had a chance to go. After a few minutes in the pitch, the manager of that team said to me, you know what, give me all your details, because I want you. And like that, start pre-season, doing stuff, training. Things, I knew things was going to be difficult, but I wasn't expecting them to be that difficult. And
In what way?
In just, I thought when you just go and watch them play football, things they do, they don't matter, but you got the ability, you got the technique, your technique is good, you know how to play football, but there's more, you got to get ready, you got to prepare to go in the stadium. And there is people coming, the pressure of winning. I couldn't that was new to me, to handle that pressure. And especially the team I was playing, the football club when I was in Senegal, their fans are crazy. Those fans, they don't mess about. And you need to win. If you don't win, there is a problem.
And did you feel that?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I felt like it was very hard for me to understand, every week you have to perform good. And that was difficult as you just started playing. It's hard. And after the first season, when we started the second season, just after my dad passed away, and it was a shock, very difficult. And I have to deal with that for 3-4 months. I didn't want to stop going training and playing. I was trying to go training and play to just, maybe that would help, but it was helping in one way, but in the other way, it wasn't, because it was helping for me to just, get a distraction and just, find something who's going to keep me away from thinking too much.
So football was quite useful.
Yeah, for youthful. But the problem was I was in the club and they were playing me, but I wasn't good, because deep inside me, I wasn't good, but I was trying to just make a cover up and start doing, playing football just there. But the fans, they don't understand that. They didn't know that. Like I said, you gotta win the game, or you gotta play good. If not, they're gonna be outside the dressing room. They're gonna be outside the stadium. They're gonna be waiting for you when you go training. They're gonna shout at you. You might end up fighting, because they're gonna come with you. And then after the first 2 seasons, the third season, things start getting easier for me. I started knowing, I started understanding, and I start knowing this is what I need to do to be able to perform on the best of my ability. And
I don't think people realize that, the sacrifice that you make when you're a performer. So I had a friend that died, and I found out on the first day of set, and the project is bigger than that, if that makes sense. It's bigger than what's going on with me. There's so many people who are getting paid to be there. The operation, it takes lots of time and energy. It's like the same with the game, right? There's loads of people watching, and you don't feel like you can. You don't feel like you can take your foot off the gas for a few reasons. One, because there's a responsibility to the people that you're working with, and two, because you've got a responsibility to yourself, because you were working your bum off to be successful. So it's quite hard, isn't it, to navigate through those personal challenges in a industry where it sometimes feels like you're not able to take that time off.
Yeah, it's very difficult, because sometimes people, they don't know what you're going through. And personally, I felt like I didn't have an option to talk to someone. My family, for example, my mom, bless her, she tried to, because when my dad passed away, I was taking care of him for like maybe 4 months because my dad has one of his side paralyzed. So I had to do everything for him because my other brothers and sisters, they were all more busy in a serious way because this is one. My sister, one wasn't even in Senegal. She was in Mali. The other one was a teacher. My young brother was a bit young, and my other brothers, they were working. So my football, me going to training in the morning, that's the only time I have training from 9 to 12. And then after I was free for the rest of the day. So the training from 9 to 12, after that, I have to go back home. I have to make sure my dad eat. I have to make sure shower him, everything you need, because he's one side is paralyzed. So you go through that for 4 months and then he ended up passing away. The shock and everything. I couldn't talk to my mom because she's devastated. She's been married to the man for like nearly 40 years. They were married. So at 19, I think I'm strong. I can handle this. I just have to deal with it. And the fact that I was putting a mask all the time, and deep down I wasn't good. I need to talk to someone. I need to just people know how I feel. And my pride was telling me, no, you're strong, but trying to mix it with football, pressure on football, playing football and doing that, and the struggle of losing a parents at 19, and after seeing him from being a strong man to just go on the downfall, to be like not be able to work on his own, not be able to shower, not be able to do anything while you have to take care of him. That change, that switch make you just realize how life is nothing. And you got to deal with that without being able to express yourself. You have to play football. And if you don't play good, these people, they're going to come at you. You're shit. You'll die. And all that build-up of pressure where, like I said, the first 2 seasons, especially like the second season was hard. But after like, I got options, just keep going, just doing my thing until like I got a...
How do you get through that?
I don't know. I think like religions play part because I'm Muslim and my faith is important. And I've always dig deep when things aren't okay. And my perception of religion was so clear in my head then. If no matter what the things are, if I go deep there and I sit down and I start thinking, I start valuing like things were important to me, my health, my family, which is friends and, blood related health, how I'm able to sleep at night, how I'm able to eat good. And I realized, well, football is just a job. No matter what you can think about, whatever you do here, you might put a lot of pressure on you. But at the end of the day, no matter if you are the richest person in the world or the poorest person, you have a bed to sleep, that's enough. You have something to eat, that's enough. Yeah, I want the best for me. But at the same time, well, I have to take this easy because in my head, it's just like a job. I'm not dead. I'm not unhealthy. I'm healthy. So every time when I look at the bright side, the positive aspect, kind of downside the negative aspect, and keep me say, you know what, just keep doing, just keep pushing. Things might change. At some point, I even thought about stopping playing football because it was that hard with me struggling with the loss of my father and the things weren't going well with football, and like the option of seeing things like people you love, you start growing up, you just...
How did you get past that? I know being an actor, and I was actually speaking to my coach today about this, and she was like, different areas of your life are going to go up and going to go down. And she said, focus when you're on a down in one of the areas, be that, your acting profession or your family or whatever, focus on the other areas that are thriving.
That's okay.
And really focus on those. And she said that to me, and that was... in that moment, I said to her, it's easy to look at those areas and think they're going wrong too when you feel rubbish, because the whole world
around you is not right. Yeah.
Feels like it's not right. But I mean, what advice would you give to someone who is going through that stage in their career, performance career or professional career, or whatever it is, and they feel like giving up, they feel like they've hit rock bottom. Like, how did you navigate through that, and what advice would you give to other people?
I think it's important to know exactly when those things happen, then is to prepare you for something else. Because if I didn't go through that period, the moment my football start thriving, because my football just become, for 5 years almost, I was back home in Senegal, 18 to 23, nothing clear in my head, things aren't going well. You get a contract for 6 months, you get a good pay, and all of a sudden it stopped, you go back to that, and things are just
So you're just constantly getting contracts, good pay, and then going back to
you got
like
option, you go to Europe, have a trial in France in 2008. Your hope was high when you were leaving, and then you go there 2 weeks, you realize, well, these people are way ahead of me. I have to go back home again, try again, have a contract 6 months in Norway. After the 6 months, they said, no, you're going back home. They send back home, you were paying good and stuff, like you live on your own, have a party. You have to go back to the family house and start dealing with certain things. It's hard. But if I didn't go through all of that, when my career took over, I wouldn't be the same person. No, I wouldn't be the same person.
It makes you more resilient.
Yeah, it makes me more resilient. It makes me more like...
But how did you continue going? How did you keep the faith?
I didn't have another option. That's the only option I had. That's in my head. Is if you have a second option, it means your first option is not that strong or that real. So I didn't have a second option. I said, is this or nothing? And I trained hard. I practiced hard. I just promise you, the way I was training, I knew it wasn't okay right now sitting down here. I know I could have killed myself the way I was training, because to me, there were no other option. Practice, train hard as much as you can. And trust me, sometimes you're sitting down as an actor, you can do one scene we can do one like things 10 times, 15 times, because they said you repeat, you gotta do it again, you gotta do it again. I understand that's hard mentally, but when you have to train, when you have to know, you gotta run until you don't feel your chest anymore. You gotta run until you feel your ears are like blowing. You gotta move like even your saliva is gone. Everything, you gotta keep running. That is tough. And because you gotta do it, because if you wanna be successful, if you wanna make it work, you have to run, you have to do that. And it's challenging, because not only like physically, because physically is what matters most. When you go to 90 minutes, you have to play 90 minutes in high level. You gotta be physically ready. But mentally, how are you gonna wake up 6 in the morning to go when it's like cold, when everyone is sleeping? How are you gonna prepare yourself to say, I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna go for a run?
How do you do that? Like when your body doesn't want to,
Your body doesn't,
but your brain is going, gotta go. Or your brain is actually saying the opposite. It's giving you all those excuses. How do you cut through the excuses, and how do you make the body? It's funny actually. Sometimes I'm walking to the gym, and as I'm walking to the gym, my brain is going, no, you don't want to do that. It's having an internal, but the body's just moving. Like it's just moving. How did you do that? How did you get through all of those moments of doubt, rejection, fear, not being good enough, coming from where you came from, arriving a little bit later than everyone, feeling behind? How did you have that courage and that faith to keep going?
I think there's this part where my pride kicked in, when people said to me, can he do it? I don't think he can do it. And when you heard people doubting you, like, sometimes it can put you in doubt if there is close people to you. Like, when close people to you doubt you, you might doubt. But even me, when the closest people, which is my siblings, doubted me, I didn't doubt myself. I said, there is no way I can do this. I can't. I always say I can't. Sometimes even I sit down, I say, yeah, this is difficult. I'm thinking about maybe I should stop, maybe, because there are a lot of things. But that doubt doesn't stay long on me. After I realize, well, this is not what you always wanted. Just go for what you wanted, and which is important, because I don't feel like I'm even lucky. I feel like I'm blessed, because I'm doing something I really love, which is playing football. I played football when I was young with no one paying me. Now when I feel like there is an option of me playing football and getting a lot of money, why would I not give 100%, 200%, 300% if need to be.
So
Just be able to be there.
An element of you feeling really grateful that this opportunity.
Yeah, the football is like it's really great because you see, I see people working at the bank, I see people in technology, engineering, everything. Most of them, they love football. You go at the bar like on the weekend, people who are full at the bar, they don't know how to kick a ball, or they didn't kick a ball for 10 years. But when it's a game, they travel 5 hours with bus to go to London to be able to watch people playing football. You are part of the lucky elite who are on top there. People are coming and watch you. If you think about that, you're going to say, no, why would I doubt myself for this? I got to give 100%. It's not going to be easy. Mentally, physically, financially, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle, but you cannot stop. I couldn't stop.
Cannot stop.
No, you cannot stop. Cannot stop because people are doubting you, because people are hard, because things are hard. Come on, you play football. People work Monday to Saturday to Friday. Saturday they go watch football. Sunday they're gonna try maybe to play football, and Monday they go. You working from Monday to Sunday. You go training. You do something you enjoy. Even when you're working, it's fun. Yeah. Because you play football. People work and then go play football as fun. You work, your job is playing football, is having fun, and you're getting paid.
I can hear that passion just oozing from you, how we love it. And your focus is also on what it's bringing to people, like how you're contributing to society. I think that's quite interesting that you're using that to motivate you.
Yeah.
That people don't watch football for fun, they love it, they enjoy it, they spend their weekends there, and you're using that to fuel you and to motivate you as well.
I remember in 2011 when I was in Senegal and the club I was playing, we won the league. It was one game, we won that game 2-0, and one of our fans, because that game was so important, he was like around in his 50s. After we scored the second goal, because the game was so important, he had a heart arrest and he died on the stage. Just to think how people love football. He died at the stage.
He died?
He died at the stage. Just how passionate, what you do. And this, I'm telling you, is in Senegal. In the league where like, it's not the biggest league, it's not the biggest football in even Africa, or in the world. But people love their football. People love what they're doing. So if you're in that industry, you gotta be careful. You gotta understand, like, I have to always give my best, because in this one game, this game was so important for us winning the league. Someone died. Can you are part of these people who are making them happy or sad or frustrated or whatever? So you cannot do halfway. And you're lucky to be in that where you play games like people come thousands at the stadium to watch, and some people stay at home watch it on TV.
It's a huge responsibility.
It's a big responsibility. It's like, and you don't know who's gonna be. You don't know who's gonna watch. You might work at the bank, you're in your office, you're sitting down in your office. Anything you do, maybe the manager can see it. Maybe people you're working can see it. Maybe the customer who is you're dealing with can see it. But not too many people will see it. So when you do this when you do something like there's camera involved, people are gonna be watching you. Come on, you gotta think.
You're gonna make sure you perform.
You gotta make sure you got it right.
So what was the moment in your career that changed everything?
Oh, I think after I came back from Norway, spending 6 months there, I took the challenge on me. I said, this is the time where I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. Then anything you wanna do, you can do it. At 22, 23, I'm back home, where I see the players who are good and playing with national teams, playing with the best. We're playing in the best leagues in Europe and in the world. They left when they were 18, 19, and they spent 3 years before they get in the first team. I'm 23 and I'm home here. So I start training hard, and because I said all the games matters, I just start playing. Even the friendly games, I give 200%. And there was one game where, like a team we were playing, there was an academy, a big academy where a lot of football players now playing in the elites. They come from the academy. We were playing against them, and they had one of their managers, because the owner of that academy was Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira, he used to play for Arsenal. He used to be captain for Arsenal for so many years, the Arsenal best team. So he opened an academy because he's back home, he's from Senegal. And the academy was good. They have everything. They have anything you can dream of. I wanted even to join them, but my parents didn't want me to leave school, so they didn't even think about allowing me to go for those trials. So when we were playing them, after I come back from Norway in 2030, there was this manager who came from France and who was watching the game. I didn't know he was watching. I didn't know even what was going on. I just came, really, the game is on. But I played the same way I played all that season after I came back from Norway. And the guy said, just, who is this guy? I want to know him. I want to see him. So that, before he left Senegal, we met at the airport the day he was leaving. He said to me, I'm in love with you. I want to sign you. I was like, okay. Say, I want to sign you and stuff like that. I'm going to go now, France. When I arrive tomorrow, it's the weekend. Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to send you a contract. Say, really? He said, okay. Said he went and he did it. He sent me a 3 years contract.
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years contract. Sign it from Senegal, do my papers, say bye to my family, and go apartment, house, apartment, car, everything on the contract. But the problem, there is a problem. The problem was like in January, that was in June. In January, I had two options. There was a club in France who wanted to see me, to train with them, Saint Etienne. It was a very good football club in France. And I had another invitation from a Turkish team. And I choose, I choose France. I went to France, spent there 2 weeks in January 2013. They said, okay, go back home. They didn't take me. So the Turkish, because it was the end of the transfer window, the Turkish league, I couldn't go there because even if I go, it's pointless.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back home to play again. But that football club in Turkey, they kept in touch. They said to me, okay, fine, June comes, you make your stuff, you come here, do a trial for 2 weeks, and then we see. But because they've been in touch with me during the season, checking on me, used to, watching me, checking how I'm doing, this is my game and that, I built up a little bit of connection with them, even if I had to go and trial there. And arrived this manager and offering me 3 years contract, while that team, I was planning to go there the following weeks. I was planning to go to Turkey the following week. I met up with the guy, and that week he sent me the contract. Following week, I was supposed to go to Turkey, which is everything was set. So I had a dilemma. I had a 3 years contract to sign here, do everything, or these people have been in touch with them in Turkey and stuff like that. They're sending me an invitation. Everything is done. I go there for a trial. That is a trial.
Wow. So it would be a trial or a 3-year guarantee?
A 3-year guarantee.
And what were the pros and cons?
The thing is, you could go to Turkey, do a trial, didn't work. The team in France said, the Turkish team didn't want him. Is it that good? Maybe we don't want him anymore. Or you go there and they find out you went there, but the guys still want you because mainly the Turkey, they might not see the same. Okay, anyway, come here. Or you go there, you can have them want you and them want you, those are the options.
Yeah.
They both want you, or they both don't want you, or they might want you, they still want you. So I sit down with my brothers and I told them, this is what they said to me, no question here. You're going to France. Everyone said you're going to France.
Take the job.
Yeah. I'm thinking. And all I did is I packed my bag without no one knowing. And I left the deck.
Did you?
I didn't say to the president of my club. I didn't say to my family. I didn't tell no one. I just took my bag.
Why? Why did you go to Turkey? What was the decision? What did you feel like that would be the best opportunity for you to progress into?
I didn't know at that time. I've never watched the Turkey. I've seen few things on the Turkish league, but I don't know. I was just feeling like, well, if I can. At that point, I felt I was ready. As mentally, physically, I was ready. So I said, why would I take something if these people, they've been during the season, they've been with me, talking to me, even if after I choose another French team in January, they're still talking to me and wanted to see me. Now I've got a contract here. Okay. If I can get this contract here, with one football match I played without knowing. If I go to Turkey, maybe I can change it. And I felt like, okay, Omar, don't doubt, don't listen, just go. I went to Turkey. That was on Wednesday morning. I traveled during the day. They were calling me. No one can call. Where is he? No one know where I was. I arrived in Turkey. I was so tired. I slept. Woke up. I called my brother. I told him I'm in Turkey. He said to me, "What are you doing?" I said, "Okay, cool." And my family find out. I turned off my phone. That was Wednesday. I turned Thursday with the team there in Turkey. Friday and Saturday we had a friendly match. They had a friendly match. So the manager just, put me in the bench, tell me watch 45 minutes. And then the second 45 minutes you're gonna come in. I said, okay. I went in 45 minutes. I played 45 minutes. We were playing with a team in Greece. I was so good for 45 minutes. The manager we were playing against a friendly game. It was a team from Greece. He came inside the pitch. He said, I've heard you just on trial here. You haven't signed. Please don't sign. Come on, take your place. So the manager, I went there in Turkey. As soon as he saw that guy trying to bribe me, that he just called the secretary of the club. He said to him, I hope you have the escape passport. He said, yeah, I still have the passport. He said, okay, cool, we're good. He didn't. So the guy said to me, I said to him, look. And then I sat down with them. They said, we want you here. We're going to sign you for 2 years. I said to them, okay, cool. I put on my phone. I took the contract. Because the contract they sent me in from France, I showed it to him. I said, okay, this is my contract. This is the contract I've been offered before I came here. Look at it. What can you offer? They double everything.
Oh my God.
Everything, money, everything.
Wow.
Everything. And you know what? Yeah.
And how did that feel? So in that moment, right? So there's this element of, when you hit failures and you hit kind of like rejection, it's that bringing yourself up. But was there a moment here where you were like, oh God, I am getting paid a lot of money. I'm crapping myself now.
No, trust me. It was like, because after the first, when I realized, when I start feeling that is when the contract being sent to me from France to Senegal. At that point, I sat down and I said, I've done it. From that moment, the contract is in front of me in Senegal. I knew I've done it. So now it's, can I do better? That was my challenge. Can I do better? Can I have better than what?
So many people would have just accepted.
What I did wasn't normal. That's why I didn't say anything. I assisted my bag because I knew my family knew that they will be at the airport. You're not going nowhere. They're going to grab my bag, take my passport. You're going this
You
place.
took the ultimate risk.
Yeah, I took the ultimate risk because I knew.
And it paid off.
Yeah, it did pay off very well because they doubled the money. And once they doubled the money, I sit down. Now I can call my people in Senegal. I call them, talk to them, and they say, no, you're not going to Turkey. The president of the club, I was in Senegal, said to me, you're going to France and stuff like that. And I said, no, I'm staying here. I'm not going. So he called the French team and told them I was in Turkey. They said to me, bring him here. We're going to pay him more than what Turkey is paying now. But the Turkish team, they say, you're not living here. Your passport in the drawer. So, and then, I signed for Turkey. And then, I loved my time in Turkey. Because it was warm at the beginning. I didn't feel like too much change. It's a Muslim country. I'm Muslim. I felt good there. So I just arrived and take over. I didn't wait to give myself because I knew time was against me. I'm 23. If I want to get to the high level, I cannot be thinking. And there also my training was just intense.
Yeah.
My training was intense and games, I'm always top of the highest, running in the pitch. Every time when we play a game, I'm in 12.5 miles, 1 kilometer runs on the pitch. And the second players is always 11,000. I'm 12,000, 13,000 running. The man was telling me, Omar, rest. I said, no, I'm not resting.
How did you keep that focus?
I think there was a different part. There was this part where it's a dream for me to push to be the best, to be able to play in the best leagues, which is the challenge as how I love football. And there was the other part, which is money. When I was in Senegal, I was earning what, £300 a month, which is like if you play games, you can get bonus games. And yeah, I went to Turkey, like they were paying me €10,000 net. I said, £300 from 10,000. It's like a lot of money. And they offer me signing fees. Like all of a sudden, I passed from earning a year like maybe 4K, 6K to 150K. And I had like, especially the match bonus when I was in Turkey. If you win a match, it's like €6,000. And you play Saturday, you win it. So they pay you. And like,
how did you cope with that kind of change in finances? Was that quite difficult? Because you said earlier that you'd grown up with nothing. No one teaches you how to manage finances and how to manage fame and success. When that started creeping in, when the money, the fame, the success, the women, whatever it was,
everything came.
How did you?
Everything is gonna be there, because it's the thing with footballers is when you play football, you get a lot of crazy things at a young age.
Yeah.
Imagine you're 21 or 22. You are maybe, let's just be normal, 25K a week. That's where you are. Anywhere you go, people want to take picture with you. You're famous, you got money, and you're young. How can you be normal? That's why most of the time when I see footballers, that get people playing footballers doing that, and stuff, I say it's normal. They're young and they got a lot of money, they got fame. You are so spoiled. When you even go to the airport, if you travel with your team, there's no queue, there's nothing. You just go and pass. Just go.
And doors are open.
Everything is open. So it's very difficult to be humble, to be normal, to be like understanding, and until you are part of the lucky one where God just give you that mindset, and you don't have to go through certain things, but mostly you have to go through certain things.
Do you think your background in terms of like struggling, growing up in Africa, and being part of a big family, having your dad die at such a young age, do you think those things helped you stay grounded?
Yeah, I think because like I said, you grow up in a family where we are 8 and with mom and dad in the house. You don't owe anything. It's cold. You put your jacket here, it's cold. Before you realize someone took it. You want to go out, you're going to struggle because someone took your jacket, someone took your shoes. So you learn how to share. You learn how to understand like how important certain things are in life. And once the football start opening, when things there, I said, the hard times keep coming up. Like you've been to so much, like did hard things. He humbles you. He understands like, the person you were running when you were a child, the person who was carrying you, when you get scared, you run to your dad, I'm scared, I'm that. You end up seeing that person not be able to feed himself. After you walk up, if you get money, you think you're powerful or you think you are untouchable. You're stupid. Because anything can change. You can play football today, score goals, 3 goals in one game, your bank account are full, you're driving your car and boom, you get crashed and you're paralyzed, you can't play football anymore. It can happen. It happens to people. So if you saw that from your own eyes, your dad struggling to eat, struggling to do anything in his life, and you knew this person was healthy, you saw him strong, you saw him healthy. Well, no matter how much money you got, no matter how famous you are, you gotta sit down and think, come on, this can be ending tomorrow. Not me, not the money.
You gotta live for today.
That's why you gotta do whatever you gotta do to get it. Do it now, and don't think twice, and just knowing that he can stop tomorrow, it can end tomorrow. So if you have that kind of mindset, no matter how famous or fine or rich you are, it won't take you someplace, because our life can change now.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end on that, just because I think that was just such an amazing quote to end on. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, so you've got to do it now. What's next for you, Oumar? Where are you branching off to next?
I think next it's a bit of confusion because like I'm starting to doing acting now to learn how to act because after I after I start playing football, I fell in love with something else, which is acting. Like I said, when I started coming to Europe in 2012 in a country where they wasn't speaking French, I had to learn English. And for me to be able to learn English, I didn't have teacher. I just go to cinema and watch movies. So that's how I learned English. And I fell in love with seeing people acting. So that always stayed on me. But now I have the chance because my football is finishing. I'm comfortable. I'm halftime. I said, I want to try doing acting. So now I'm doing it and I didn't regret the love I had because so far I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I gotta just push that way to see.
Well, you're very naturally talented.
Oh,
So what the viewers don't know is I'm
Yeah.
actually teaching.
Yeah.
I'm his acting coach.
Yeah, I think like the moment is just that. I just keep enjoying it and see because like I said, the sky is the limit to me. It's like I've done something. I've been blessed to do something which is give me a lot of things, money, fame, which is football. And I was blessed to do it. Now maybe I can be more blessed to do something else who doesn't require me to retire because football I have to retire. But acting,
You have that mindset. You have the mindset of that every actor needs in the sense of aiming high and just keep going.
Yeah, I think that's the chance. Yeah, that's the chance again because with the football, when you become professional, there are a lot of things related with acting, and that helped me like to just be able to maybe switch easier. But at the same time, like I said, maybe I'm gonna be also good to.
How do you think? So with acting, before we go, there's one very big difference I find that you can work really hard. You can be the best. Well, the best of your ability. You know, we're only comparing to ourselves, but you still might not get the job, and that's the difference. How do you think you'll deal with that?
I think I wouldn't. To me, it's easier because I've already made it. It's not a pressure of you need to make. Now it's, can I do better? Like I said to you when I was telling you about my contract in Senegal, I got the contract, but can I get better? Now it's about, I'm finishing football. Can I do better in my life? Can I leave a legacy where like I was able to play in the highest level in football and be able to switch and be an actor who's gonna make it also to the highest way I can. And I think like making it that way is.
So you're just always comparing to the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Just do better. Just do better because it's difficult because it's a big switch. I really realize a lot of things. Like I said, in football, if I know this is what I need, I go train. I practice. When I go to the pitch, I can do it because I practice it. Acting is different because it's harder to me because in football you can have these qualities, stay with it, and you can kill the world with it. You fast, you train hard, you fast, ask in the space, run quick, finish. In acting, it's different because they want this, they want this.
You just might not look or sound like the parts.
And
there's a lot of look.
That is where it's hard.
And you know, and getting in front of the right people. But I guess that's similar in football as well.
But this one, you had more options in football because in my way of seeing it, it's more like maybe this manager doesn't like it where you play, but you might find another manager and who's gonna like you for nothing just because he want to win. He just want to win. And when he want to win, he sees you doing something good. He's going to say, I want this. And when he gives you that chance once, I think in acting, it can take more. I don't understand yet, but I think it take more time. But in football, one game can change your life.
Yeah, I think it's probably possible for acting as well. One job could change your life.
Okay,
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Maybe they are more aligned than what we think.
Yeah, maybe you can learn more about acting than because I know a lot of things about
space. Watch this space, everybody, because Oumar will hopefully be gracing your screen soon. And thank you so much, Oumar, for everything. Yeah, I think we need to get you back on because I feel like we've only touched on half of the story.
Because we haven't talked about my life in Turkey, Russia, England, and all of that. Yeah, there are a lot of things I have to do. Because
I would love to know about that transition into how you dealt with those changes in Norway, the different culture, and different weather, and all those different things.
A lot of different. And even England here, I have like a Because when I arrived here, it's difficult because I had some moment when with Everton and the manager, you love that a lot of people know is because it's all over the internet. That was a struggle too, because I arrived here as the best player in Russian league, and then 6 months after the manager will get sacked, the other manager come and say, I don't want you to get out of this football club. So I have to deal with that again in England here. But it's for another time, yeah.
We'll do that next time. So watch this space for the next episode with Oumar. I will certainly be bringing him back. He's such an inspiration. His story is so inspiring. I'm sat here in absolute awe. I just think you want to learn about confidence. He is your man. And thank you to all the listeners today. Thank you very much, Oumar.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.